everyone, and going to be doing the 6 shelf now. This one here, there's quite a few on there, but hopefully it won't take too long. Let's go and see what we got. Hi there, I'm going to do a shelf 6 now, 6 shelf in my collection. Start off with this one, it's The Creeps. It's like a Charles Band one, Charles Band film. Not a bad movie that, it was okay. It wasn't that scary, but decent makeup and that in it, was alright. We've got Creep Show, George A. Romero's one. Brilliant anthology. Got the Region 1 version here, but great anthology that. Creep Show 2, not as good as the first, but you know, still really good. Still one of the better anthologies. The original Critters, got that on Region 1 as well. Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a lot of the Critters films. They were sort of, I think, done as like a rival to Gremlins, weren't they? But they were as successful as Gremlins, but you know, they're okay. I think all the Critters films are watchable. They've got Critters 2. Critters 3, that's I think Leonardo DiCaprio was in that, one of his very early roles. And then Critters 4, Critters in Space, that one. That one's, I haven't watched them ones yet, the last couple. Toby Hooper's Crocodile. That wasn't a bad one, you know, it wasn't up to his usual standard, but it was watchable, it wasn't bad at all. Kronos, which was that Guillermo del Toro, I think it was his debut film, I think that was. Yeah, really good, stylish movie that. The Crooked House, which is like a British, like a TV series it was like a mini-series, sort of a better house that's got all history of hauntings and that. Yeah, it's quite hard to pick up, really. I've not seen that around very often, but well worth picking up if you ever see it around. The Crow, not really strictly speaking horror, a bit more actiony, but you know, I think this has got bits of horror in it, you know, it comes back from the dead for revenge and things, so I'll give it in the horror section anyway. Cry Wolf, like a slasher film. Yeah, it was okay, it wasn't great, passable. The Crying Tree, which I think is a Thai film or something like that, was it? Yeah, Thai. Yeah, it was okay, it wasn't great. It was a bit like a soap opera with blood. It sounds a bit strange, that's what it sort of reminded me of. Crypt of the Living Dead. Yeah, another like low budget one for him, I think was 1973. Yeah, not that great, a bit slow. Cube Zero, it's the only one of the cubes I own at the minute. Trying to get hold of the first one. The first one is really good. I've seen it a couple of times, but I haven't got it. But yeah, that one's not bad. It's like sort of tells you the story of how the cube was made and that, which I thought was quite good. Cujo, the Stephen King, based on the Stephen King story. Brilliant film. That one, really like that. But what about the rabid St Bernard? I think it gets bit by a bat or something like that and goes crazy. Good movie that. The Curse of the Demon Mountain. I've not watched this one yet. Don't know if it's any good or not. Very old. And PG rated as well, so I don't know if it'd be any, you know, don't know what to like, but still. Curse of the Devil, which is like one of the Paul Nashy sort of werewolf films that he did. Not watched this one yet. I'm dying to watch it. I'll sort of get it on soon, have a look. But yeah, I quite like that. I used to have one called Werewolf Shadow before on VHS. I really enjoyed that one. Hopefully it'll be the same sort of film. Curse of the Puppet Master. Yeah, I quite like all the Puppet Masters. They're all pretty good. This wasn't the strongest one, but you know, still decent. Cursed, which is like I think Wes Craven produced it or something, but yeah, I think he directed it as well. Sorry, directed and produced it, but yeah, it was like a werewolf one, more of a teen one, but you know, not bad. Dagon, I think probably one of Stuart Gordon's best recentish films that he did. Really good, really impressed with this movie. Great atmosphere, really good film. Dance of the Dead, I think this was like a pound pickup. I haven't watched it yet. Don't know if it's any good or not. The Dark, a bit slow moving that one. It's not bad, you know. Sean Bean's in it, and you know, it's okay, not bad. Dark Corners, not watched that one yet. That was another one I picked up cheap. Get around to watching it eventually. Dark Floors, which was the Lordy motion picture. I really like this one. It had sort of little elements of like Silent Hill and things in it, which I thought was quite good. You know, a bit like there's in like a mental asylum sort of place, and there's like a dark side to it, you know, and very much like Silent Hill, and yeah, that was a good film. I enjoyed that one. It doesn't get that much of a good reviews really, but I thought it was okay. Dark Heritage, which is like a remake sort of thing of H.P. Lovecraft's The Lurking Fear, based on that story. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't great. It was very low budget, but you know, it was alright. It wasn't bad at all. Dark Island, more of like a sci-fi thriller thing. Best way to describe it is like The series Lost, when you get that black smoke that's following people, it's basically like a whole film sort of based on that. You know, it was alright, wasn't great. The Dark Power, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure. I saw this on VHS, and very low budget, very cheesy, but a really good watch, really great fun little movie that. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. This is one I was after for ages. It's had a really good write-ups. It has aged quite a bit, but really good performances in that. And you know, it's made for TV, so it's not that frightening or graphic, but really good film. Dark Remains, really good ghost story that. Never really hear anyone talk about this film either, but really good. Recommend seeing that. Some really good scares in that one. Dark Walker, which was just usual creature feature type thing. It looks a little bit like Swamp Thing, the monster here. I don't know if it was base it on that, but yeah, it was alright, it was passable. Dark Water, got the Region 3 one there. But I love this film, this was a great movie. I think I watched it a few times. So much better than the American remake. The American remake was really poor compared to this. But great movie that. The Darkling, that's one I've picked up cheap, haven't watched it yet. Don't know if it's any good or not. Darkness Falls, that's the one about the Tooth Fairy. So yeah, it was okay. Daughter of Darkness, Anthony Perkins film. Yeah, it was okay. I've seen it on telly a few times, not bad. The granddaddy of all zombie films, George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I think probably one of my favourite zombie films of all time. I just love the setting in the mall. Great movie that. Some really good gore as well. You know, the great gore for the time. Brilliant film. I've also got the Region 1 DivMax edition of that as well. We've got Dawn of the Dead, the remake, which was, you know, that's surprisingly really good as well. Not as good as the original one, you know, nothing will ever beat that, but surprised how good it was, really. It wasn't bad at all, that. Dawn of the Living Dead, which I think is also called Curse of the Mayor. Yeah, that was okay, you know, it's very low budget, but some really good gore scenes in that. But it was very low budget, so. Dawn of the Mummy, which I've watched this quite a few times. I used to have this on VHS. I think on the Elephant label it was, but it was really heavily cut, and they re-released it on Anchor Bay a few years ago. I think it was, as far as I know, it's completely uncut, this version. It's a great mummy movie, but more like a zombie film than a mummy film, but brilliant mummy film that. George Romero's Day of the Dead. Yeah, I didn't like that as much as Dawn of the Dead. A lot of people think it's better, but it was good. It was a good film, but I preferred Dawn. And Day of the Dead, the remake. I didn't really like that one that much, but not as good as the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Daywatch, I love this one, great film. Not another one that's not really horror, but has little horror bits in it. But some really amazing scenes in that. That Russian director was I think he did Night Watch, and he did that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Some of his visions are amazing, and that is great director. Daybreakers, which is like the vampire one. Ethan Hawke, and it's okay, that's not a bad movie. Dead and Breakfast, quite a quirky movie that. It's like a sort of horror musical almost, a lot of songs and things in it, and yeah, it was unusual. It wasn't a bad movie, unusual is the best way to describe it. Dead and Buried, it's a great one from the early 80s. I think it was early, it might have even been late 70s, I think, but yeah, 1981. Yeah, I think it was one of Robert Englund's very first roles, you know. Great movie. They've got the Dutch version there. The picture quality's not that great on that one, but no, great movie. Dead and Dying. Picked this one up because I saw it on, I think it was on the Horror Channel, and I really liked it. And yeah, it's quite a good film. That, not bad at all. Dead Birds, which I think is like set in the Wild West sort of thing. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Not a bad film at all. That's passable. Dead Creatures, another one of them cheap pound hardcore label ones. Didn't really like this, had a lot of good write-ups, but I didn't really like it that much. There's that one called Dead End as well. I think a lot of people have heard of this one. It seems fairly popular. Yeah, it was good. It's had some good suspense and that in it. Decent film. Deadheads, yeah, it's like another slightly quirky one, like a comedy, zombie comedy one. It was okay. No, it's no Shaun of the Dead though, but. A little guilty pleasure of mine here, Dead Heat. Really like this one. I think it was one of the last sort of horror films that Vincent Price ever made. He's got quite a smallish role in it, but yeah, no, that was a good movie. I quite like that. It's very, very cheesy, and there's some really, really strange scenes in it, but I really enjoy that. Dead Man's Hand, another Charles Band one. They look great on the cover. The cover looked brilliant. I love the back as well. There's some really good shots on the back of that one. But the film itself, I found really boring. Not a lot happened in it. You know, and there wasn't really. You know, some of the scenes on the back were like looked really good. They were a bit few and far between. But this one here called Dead Meat. Yeah, an Irish one, Irish zombie film. Pretty good, that one. That was okay. The Dead Next Door. I love this movie. It's a very, very low budget independent zombie film with some great zombie effects in it. Really good story, some great gore and that. If you ever see this, worth picking up that one. The Dead One, which is a really, really obscure film from I think from the early 60s, I think it was, but a really, really good film. That I really enjoyed it. 1961, yeah. Really good film. I hadn't seen it before. It's one of them sort of rare sort of ones. I thought they'd been lost, but there you go. I've got one called The Dead Pit there. That was a great 80s one. It's region 3. This one, Midnight Movies release. They've done a few films, Midnight Movies. I think they did like the reissue of Night of the Demons as well. But this is a great film, that great 80s film. Dead Genesis. That's another parent pickup. I haven't seen that yet. Don't know if it's any good or not. Dead Silence. I love this movie. This was great. Didn't do that well as far as I know. I think it was sort of done by the people who made Saw, and people were expecting a lot more graphic stuff in it, and it wasn't really graphic, but it was, you know, I loved it. Great film. Dead Snow, which is like a Norwegian Nazi zombie film. I really like that. Really great film. Lots of comedy, and a lot of this thing with this film as well. I thought I really liked the characters in it as well. The people. There's a lot of the people you didn't really want them to die in it. I really liked all the characters in that. So makes it first, because usually I would want them all to die in it because the characters are so annoying. But anyway, I got the Deadly Spawn there as well. It's a classic one. This one's, I think, fairly heavily cut. The Vipco one, a lot of the Vipco stuff is quite cut, but you know, great movie. The Deadly Swarm, which is like a Killer Bees one. Yeah, it was okay. Dead Time Stories. This is not the new one by Romero. It's another one. This was an album from the 80s. I think it was also called Freaky Fairy Tales. Really love I used to see it on video when I was younger, and we used to watch a trailer. It was one of the ones we used to watch a trailer over and over and over again, so I used to love the trailer to it. But yeah, it's a good movie, that. Death Mask, which is like Linnea Quigley's in it. I picked this up from like a charity shop or something like that, and I think I paid a couple of pounds for it. It's like the French release, so I've not watched it yet, but I've never really ever heard of the film. I don't know if it's any good or not. Death Note, which is like the Japanese, is a Region 3 one. Yeah, I've not watched this one yet, but I've been really wanting to see it, so it looks really good from the trailer. Death Trap, that's I think it's Toby Hooper's one, was it? It was I think one of his first films after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, wasn't it? But yeah, this is a good film, great film. Very sort of sleazy atmosphere to it now. But Robert Englund as well got quite an early role in it again. It's Death Warmed Up, which is the Arrow release of it. You don't see this around very much either. It used to be like, I think on the original video Nasty List at one time, but I think this version's fairly heavily cut. Supposedly there's not, you know, every cut all over the world is supposed to be quite heavily cut from what I've heard, but you know, it's better to have that version than none at all. So. Stuart Gordon's Deathbed, not watched that one yet either. That's one to watch. Finally on this shelf, Deep Blue Sea. It's not really a horror, I suppose, a bit more of an action adventure, but there's a couple of gore scenes in it, so better killer sharks. I thought I'd put it in the horror section. But anyway, there's shelf 6. I'll try and get the next shelf done as soon as possible, otherwise I'll be years and years doing this collection. But I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Any comments and that, just pop them at the bottom. Thanks for watching.